Hello, and welcome back to rLounge. When you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. Today we learn what happens when you say yes to yourself. This OP won't take no for an answer. Am I the a-hole for being pissed at my mother-in-law and ruining her birthday because she favorites one of her grandkids? Last year, our daughter was born. During pregnancy, we were figuring out how we would deal with daycare, working after birth, and how our routine would look like. Over here, daycare is expensive, so we discussed our financial situation and what solution we could work with. I work full-time, my wife 3 days. That means we need to fill up 3 days with daycare babysitting. As our kid would be the first little one in both families, we logically asked both our parents as new grandparents-to-be if they would like to take care of our daughter for 1 day a week. Of course, we did this knowing we chose to have kids and we need to take care of them. We absolutely don't force them to babysit or claim their free days. If they want to babysit for 1 day a week, it's fine. If they don't, it's fine as well. So my parents were over the moon they could babysit and enjoy their grandchild for 1 day a week. We also brought the matter to my parents-in-law. They immediately said they are too busy with jobs, taking care of their elderly parents, etc. And they have 3 kids, so they said that means if they are going to babysit the grandchild of kid number 1, they are also going to have to do this for kids number 2 and number 3. Okay, fine, no problem, your choice. So that left us with 2 days of daycare and 1 day at my parents'. But now things drastically changed. My sister-in-law also became pregnant and they popped up the same question to my mother-in-law. And she immediately said yes. When I heard this, I was pissed at my mother-in-law. My sister-in-law brought this up directly after my mother-in-law said yes and felt guilty for us. In the meantime, my wife also changed jobs, which left us with some more planning because of irregularities in her working days. And all those difficult days, my mother was and is there to help us, not my mother-in-law. And knowing that she will take care of the kid of my sister-in-law, I'm pretty mad. My wife says she doesn't even want to bring it up because my mother-in-law already ruined her chances of taking care of our kid, but I really hate the fact she chose one kid over another. And now every time she asks something about our kid, etc., I'm immediately pissed off. My sister-in-law also doesn't understand why. Both my wife and sister-in-law have the same relationship with my mother-in-law, as well as I and my brother-in-law. Our kid is not a difficult one, laughs a lot, and doesn't have special needs, etc. This week, we had the birthday of my mother-in-law with the whole family. She was telling an aunt about how she can't wait to babysit the kid of my sister-in-law, and I completely lost it. I was fuming she favorited one grandchild over another, and she almost missed a complete first year of our daughter. My wife was mad at me for snapping at my mother-in-law and ruining her birthday. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? The community loves to judge, and judge they shall. First up, Nico09. Probably going to get downvoted for this, but in my opinion, absolutely not the a-hole. No, you're not entitled help from anyone. Yes, it is their choice, but I'm a firm believer of treating your children equally. So if you're going to do something for one, you should do it for the other. Also, the way she went on about how excited she is about babysitting sister-in-law's baby, I personally find that really distasteful. It's just rubbing salt in the wound. The OP replies, thanks. That's also the main part why I'm pissed off. If she just said, no, I won't do this for all of you, okay, then that's that. But now she just chooses one over another, while she at first, her main reason for saying no to us was because, if I do this for you guys, I also have to do it for the rest to come. OK Albatross 8909 thinks, not the a-hole. I really don't understand the you're the a-hole response. You'd be the a-hole if you were just mad she didn't want to babysit. But it seems like you're upset because of the differences in how she's treating the 2 grandchildren. That behavior definitely makes her the a-hole. Even if she changed her mind in the year since the baby was born, she could extend the offer now. It's sad you brought it up on her birthday, but she 100% started it. Make sure you shield your child from this particular grandparent in the future. It's very damaging for kids to be treated like they are second class by their loved ones. I have a grandmother who lives in a different city. She comes to our city for every one of my cousin's birthdays, but never mine or my siblings. When I became an adult, I immediately limited my exposure to her. You aren't the a-hole at all, OP. It's definitely bizarre that she said yes to babysitting for your sister-in-laws, but not your own child. I'm just wondering if it's a huge misunderstanding. Maybe your mother-in-law's life situation changed and she was able to say yes for whatever reason to your sister-in-law. I'd have a conversation with her and express how you're both feeling, and it'll clear things up. It's not easy being a new parent, so any help at all is always much appreciated. Although we can't always rely on our parents to help, they most definitely have their own lives and their own things going on. It honestly doesn't make sense that she would favor one child over the other. I encourage you to speak to her. I think communication is key right now. There's a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle. But you aren't an a-hole. Emotions are high because things are so unclear. Both sides need to communicate to each other. What are your thoughts on OP's situation? Let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, we're transitioning. A money-hungry shark is out for our next OP. Am I the a-hole for using my money won in a lawsuit on my college funds and expenses? Context. I, 20 female, am going to school at a university. This is important for context. My mom has not ever really supported the fact I wanted to go to a bigger school as she went to community college. About 2 years ago, I was in a car accident and I decided to sue the person responsible for the accident. Damages were over $10,000, medical bills over $30,000. My vehicle was beyond repair and insurance only offered me $1,500 after it was all said and done. I tried everything and I am left with severe neck and back pain. I also have trouble with strength in my arms and legs. The driver drove drunk and hit me going at an unreasonable amount of speed. It led to my car flipping over multiple times and needing surgery after. Recently, we went to court, and although I only asked for $55,000 in court, the judge required him and his insurance company to pay $150,000 to me for damages, medical, and as personal relief as well. I just got the first part of my check on Monday, and my mom insisted I give her the entire check, $25,000, so she can have some spending money. After I told her no, and told her I would be using it for college expenses as I still have 3 years left, she told me I am not responsible enough to handle it. I explained I am meeting with an accountant on Friday, and we are going to open up an account specifically for this, and I won't touch the money unless I absolutely need to. She still didn't like that and called me an a-hole for not giving her the check. Her biggest reason after I talked to my grandma was, "I gave her life. I'm entitled to something." I'm really considering cutting contact with my mom if she continues to behave this way, but I'm wanting to better my future. So am I the a-hole for this? Kitsumi Cat offers the first judgment. Not the a-hole. 1. You're an adult. 2. You were the injured party, not her. 3. For someone who claims that you're not responsible with money, she wants $25,000 for spending money. Besides, if you give her any of that money, she'll try to drain you dry. Kalia Tom says, 4. Per your replies, OP, the guy's insurance paid for all the past medical expenses, so it's not like it would be paying her back or anything like that. 5. You need to keep control of that money because there's no telling how much you're going to need it in the future. Besides educational expenses, you're almost certainly going to have complications stemming from this for the rest of your life, whether major or minor, which is almost certainly a factor in why the judgment was set so high to begin with, because the judge is trying to look out for your future. One more judgment from Naughty Moth Girlfriend? 6. If you accept her reasoning and give her money, there will be no end to the other family and various parties coming forward to claim they have some right to your money because family, or insert various stupidity here. You are absolutely not the a-hole. The money you received was awarded to you and only you, not her. What your mother does with her money and her free time is her responsibility, not yours. You are awarded this money so that you are compensated for injuries that you received from the car accident. There's nothing wrong with someone asking to borrow a little bit of money if they're in a bind every now and again, but you don't owe her anything beyond that, and for her to put you in that position is extremely irresponsible. Let us know your thoughts about OP's mother in the comments below. And we'll move on to our last OP, who is learning what it means to compromise. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my girlfriend to decorate my apartment? Throwaway account because she's also on Reddit. I, 29 male, have been with my girlfriend, 24 female, for 2 years now. We have not lived together before, but she's currently 18 weeks pregnant, so I suggested that she move in with me once her lease was up. It ended at the end of June, so she's been living with me for almost 3 weeks now. While we get along well and overall living together has been great, I've noticed that she's started to change things around my apartment. She's only brought a few things over since my apartment is fully furnished, so I understand her need to make it feel more like her space. Everything in my apartment is mid-century modern. It's a mid-century modern building, and I bought the apartment because of how much I love that style. Some of the things that she's suggesting or bringing into the apartment absolutely does not go with that vibe. She's taken down some of my artwork and replaced it, cleared off shelves I curated and put her knickknacks on it, went through my pantry and cleared out things that she thought were unhealthy, all without asking me. She works from home while I work in the office, so she has a lot more time at the apartment than I do. I just wish she would run things by me first. I'm an architect. She's an editor and doesn't have the same designer eye, which clearly shows. What really bothered me was that she started to throw some things away without asking. I went to take out the trash and saw that some birthday cards I kept were in there. When I asked about it, she said she was just getting rid of clutter, but her stuff is more like clutter and mine has actual sentimental value. I told her to stop touching things in the apartment, and she pointed out that she should have a say because she lives there, which I agree with, but she doesn't run anything by me. Now she's being very avoidant and passive-aggressive. So, am I the a-hole? You heard it, community. Give him some judgment. Northern Lit Up says, everyone sucks here. You do realize that when you have a baby, your carefully curated apartment vibe will change very much, right? That said, she shouldn't be throwing your stuff out without asking you. Time to sit down, have an adult conversation, and come up with a compromise. Amphita chimes in next. Right, can't have those beautiful teak upholstered chairs because there's going to be all manner of bodily fluids, stains, and teeth marks in them. Yitzy13 chimes in next. Everyone sucks here. I would have said not the a-hole if not for the I told her to stop touching things in the apartment. She has an equal say in what your space looks like and a right to make it feel like home for her. She's the a-hole for making changes without talking to you, and especially for throwing some of your stuff out without your consent. You guys need to have a talk and reach a compromise. Did you go out of your way to make her feel like the home is hers when she moved in? It doesn't necessarily sound like that's the case. Update. We talked about it and agreed to have a decluttering day, and to go over some of the things that could be updated, then have a shopping trip together this weekend. I really do want to make her feel more at home in our apartment, so we're going to make it feel less like a bachelor pad and more like a family home. I also opened up to my therapist about all this, and now I'm being evaluated for OCD, which was recommended before, but I was in denial about it. I thought that how I felt was just because I had never had a roommate before, and I just don't know how to share a space. But it's like one thing that's out of place will be the only thing that I can think about all day, which apparently is not normal. So I'll continue to go to therapy, maybe couples therapy if we really hit a wall, but so far we've been more open about how we feel and trying to communicate better. I mentioned this in the comments, but I have signed up for parenting classes, both for myself to go to and for my girlfriend and I to go together. A lot of you recommended books, podcasts, and other subreddits. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate all the advice, and I'm really trying to be better. TL Housewife has one more judgment. This is a great update. I'm so glad you're taking care of your mental health proactively. I was diagnosed with OCD in my teens, but my symptoms were always mild. After I had my daughter at age 30, they became a lot more severe and really interfered with my ability to function. Getting out ahead of this is the best thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for your family. Setting up house with your partner is one of the most momentous and emotional steps you can take in a relationship. It's hard to open up your space to someone, OP. I get that. But honestly, you're about to have a child with someone. When you have a child, you'll be committed to sharing your life and space with someone else for the rest of your life. That can be quite jarring for some. I'm glad to hear that you're seeking therapy and understanding more about yourself. The best thing you can do is to be honest and transparent in what you're feeling. I'm proud of you for taking these steps. Thank you for joining us today. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, share that with us in the comments below. See you next time on rLounge.